Hey guys, welcome back to our telethon. Guys? Welcome to my living room. Hey guys, here we are. Welcome. You're probably wondering why we've gathered you here in our virtual space. We had the opportunity to meet up with a fellow Minneapolitan, Crown Shepherd. Crown is an author and local activist, and she wrote a children's book that explores the concept of representation, that Black kids should feel used to seeing people who look like themselves succeeding and achieving their goals and dreams in our society. Crown is currently raising funds to donate, drumroll, 3,000 copies of Black Boy, Black Boy to local elementary schools, and we wanted to use our platform to share that message with you. So think of this like a telethon, but you're not calling in. There's not a lot of phones, unless you're on a phone right now. But there's gonna be links all over this thing, so please consider donating if that feels right to you. So today, we're gonna be talking with the creators of Black Boy, Black Boy, and we'll also have the privilege of meeting some of the inspirations for the book as well. And finally, we'll feature a performance from the Minneapolis-made musical magicians, Milo. We'll go now to our interview with Michael Batson, the illustrator for Black Boy, Black Boy, and Megan Tate. All right, thanks for talking to us. Why don't you just tell me about who you are and what you do?
My name is Mike Daz. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, so illustration, music, writing, dance, all the fun stuff. I'm creating.
Beautiful. And you did the illustrations for Black Boy, Black Boy.
Yes.
So just tell us about what that process was like working on that book.
Crown hit me up. I think she found me on Instagram. She was working with a publisher in St. Paul. With her help and the publisher's help, we hashed out what the character designs look like and what each page should look like. And we got her done. I'm at a point in my career where I'm just not like nickel and diamond no more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like I'm a writer too, so I'm like at a point where I want to really be finally doing my own stuff. I've been kind of like pimping myself out for years.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be more so.
Yeah.
I'm doing my own
Well,
stuff.
congrats on that. It's a huge change. What do you think about art being funded? Like you say, you've done a lot of like these commission works or these grants.
I feel like working in the Twin Cities, there's not a lot of like illustrators or like visual artists who are African American. So like there's a lot of opportunities that just kind of like find me,
Right.
you know? And working within nonprofits and being like a community organizer for a while, I kind of got to gauge what it was like to write a grant. So I feel like there's a level of ignorance in regards to artists in the Twin Cities, knowing that there's just like this buffet of opportunities for them. Like there's some law that they put into place where like 2% of every project's budget has to go to public art. I feel like most folks don't know that. Yeah. And 2% of a very large budget is a lot of bread.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity in the Twin Cities for art.
For sure.
If you can meet the right people and connect to the right organizations to be a part of that conversation.
How do you go about meeting the right people or finding the right organizations?
You know, it's organic. Like I feel like because the Twin Cities are small, like it's just like making friends. So it's like if you are around and going to events and being proactive about like making connections with the right people, I feel like opportunities just find you because when something comes up, you're the person that comes into their head.
Right. So Black Boy, Black Boy is about the representation that Black youth should be able to see, especially in children's books and just in society. And so going forward, what role do you think illustration plays in the way that Black youth and Blackness can be represented, either in kids' books or just in any sort of multimedia dimension?
Well, it's like I know for a fact that kids are obsessed with graphic novels right now and like manga. They're obsessed with anime.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like the reason Black kids are obsessed with anime because there's like the hero always takes an L, then rises to triumph. Oh.
I'm so sorry. Totally fine.
Black kids like anime because the hero's journey starts from like taking this extreme L and then rising to be the dopest person in the story. I feel like that's something that a lot of kids who come from less fortunate backgrounds can resonate with. It's like, I'm currently taking an L, and I'm inspired by Naruto to not take this L much longer. Right. So I feel like illustration and animation is a way to foster reflection, because you don't see yourself in a lot of things, especially in animation.
So how does that transfer to like just the literal sort of illustration of Black kids in these roles that they typically don't see themselves in?
I feel like most folks, when they look around at their families, there's not a lot of, like, I'm the first artist in my family. You know, I'm not the first artist, but I'm like, I don't have another one that I can like speak to and learn how to do this from. And I feel like we're generally put into very certain stereotypical boxes in regards to, you know, being a performer or being a basketball player, yada, yada. But we don't see many engineers in our families. We don't see many chemists. We don't see many, you know, those type of representations matter because it makes a kid think about the other things that they can be as opposed to what's like being pushed at them by media.
Right, exactly. So what was your experience like sort of embracing your artistry and taking that as a profession and not as like a hobby, you know?
It was met with a lot of opposition, like especially
your
from,
family?
like my mom was like, what are you doing? She was like, you can do anything. Why are you choosing not to do, you know, you got this degree, you're not trying to do anything with it. She just didn't understand the decisions I was making. And it's like, finally, now, because I'm like making money, she's like, oh, I get it. I think being an artist was the right decision.
So yeah, let's just talk about the mural that you guys are doing here. Just thanks for joining us. Why don't you tell us about you and your relationship here?
Yeah, thanks for having me. My name is Megan Tate. My artist name is Orem Oro. I'd say my main art form right now is actually music, so like music production, DJing, songwriting. In addition to that, though, I do graphic design, I do illustration, painting, so working on murals, like a little bit of everything, honestly, whatever kind of pops up.
Awesome. If you want to talk about the mural you guys are doing right now.
Yeah, so it's literally 12 feet by 180 feet.
Incredible.
Yeah.
With
ridges.
Which adds a lot of surface area.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And I don't paint. Like, I'm a digital artist. I have aspirations of painting. Like, the actual concept of the design I created, but all the execution has been this one.
Wow. All the hard work in this horrible heat.
Yes. It's been a
long
task,
month.
I won't lie.
A long month. Are there any other projects that you guys are working on that you want to promote, or just a general sort of blast?
We're both putting out music this summer. We're gonna drop some singles, drop some EPs, so that's probably the next biggest thing that we're focusing on. Like, we got a lot of visual art projects done, a lot of commissions done, and now we're like, okay, we're focusing on ourselves, and what we want to put out more than anything is music.
I was also in town because me and my business partner was launching a cohort for making third grade content for the same reason, like content that looks and breathes and feels like BIPOC folk. Created by BIPOC folk, called Schools with a Z. So I'm really excited about that. We got a Bush grant, like $200,000 to bring this to fruition. So we'll be making stories with little Black kids at the center all summer.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for talking to us and showing us your mural. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you, Mike and Megan, for talking with us about Black Boy, Black Boy. We would be doing a disservice to this interview if we didn't briefly talk about the political and social climate here in Minneapolis specifically. As you likely know by now, we've been at the epicenter of deep social injustice towards our BIPOC communities. Since 2015, there have been upwards of 30 BIPOC people killed by Minnesota police departments. These killings are not the unfortunate byproduct of a social service, but instead are murders that are manifested by America's deeply inherent racism. The way that our society views our BIPOC communities is one plagued by stereotypes and misrepresentation. That is why Black Boy, Black Boy is such an important addition to our discourse. Black and brown kids need to be able to see themselves as engineers, as programmers, and not as the victims of the institution that is supposed to protect us. Don't forget to check the description below for a link to the donation for Crown's book drive. And next we'll go to Milo performing Greenhouse.
What's wrong with my bed? Can't seem to rest. Keeping it stored up in my head. What's wrong with your mouth? Can't seem to express what we've got stored up in this house. Heavy, it's all feeling too heavy, and you're looking right through me. Can't you see that I'm waiting? I've got to go my own way. You've been feeling your own pain, and you look at me, and it's all wrong. And we held it in this greenhouse of ours, this greenhouse of ours. Oh, and we held it in this greenhouse of ours, this greenhouse of ours. Give me a reason that I shouldn't lie. I'm looking for courage. It's easier than to try. Somebody give me a reason that I shouldn't lie. I'm looking for courage. It's easier than to try. Try.
That was Milo playing Greenhouse. Wow, thanks guys. And now for our interview with Crown and her nephews on Black Boy, Black Boy. Crown, thank you so much for having a conversation with us. Do you want to tell us about who you are and what you do?
Well, Crown Shepherd. I am from Minneapolis, and I'm a writer. I write children's books, comic books, and fiction novels. And I'm all around reading advocate.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty much me.
Yeah, thank you. And then just talk to us about Black Boy, Black Boy, why you wrote it, and sort of like the life that it's taken since you've released it.
I wrote Black Boy, Black Boy for my nephews. I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and a lot of them were young and at a critical reading age. And I wanted to give them something that they could feel seen and represented in, because in literature, there's not a lot of books for Black boys. And I wanted to give each and every one of them that same feeling, because they all look different. So it's like I couldn't just pick one of them and be like, oh, that's gonna be it, and just, it wasn't gonna work. Okay. So I wanted to give them something that they were all a part of and in and could feel seen.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we'll just talk about the fundraiser really quick, because that's like the whole essence of this. We're trying to raise money to get about 3,000 copies of Black Boy, Black Boy into local schools.
Mm-hmm. Local schools, into more so to Black boys.
Right.
It started right after George Floyd passed. I started giving out books at local protests that I would attend, and it's kind of kept going with Dwight Wright. And then Winston recently being killed right here in the city. So I go to these protests and they're little Black boys. I just started kind of giving my book out to them to remind them that they have a future. Right. And their future doesn't have to be this. And like, cause that's what they're out there fighting for, is like they're fighting so that that isn't their future, that one day they're not a hashtag.
What were some of the challenges you faced with like the creative content?
I think the hardest part of that whole process was the finances, like, because it was all new to me, and I was shopping it traditionally. I was determined to go self-publishing, but, you know, it takes a lot of money to get a book to look a certain way, and I wanted my book to look a certain way. The whole process was fun and easy, and like, and I know it's not usually supposed to be like that, but it really was just seamless. Like, everything just kind of fell together. Like, every idea I had and everything I wanted to do, I just kind of happened. I got the support, you know, from my family, my nephews, and just other people who had the expertise that I guess I needed to make it all happen. My advice for any writer looking to, you know, take your idea to the next step, seek help. Like, I've learned a lot, and it was a very humble process, but I do say, if you've never done it before, find an expert. I went through Beaver Pond Press here in Minnesota. They're located now in St. Paul. They were wonderful, and they taught me a lot, and they showed me how to make a traditional book. And there was a lot I didn't know. There's like a lot of other aspects that come into play, like design and trim size of a book, and like how many words are there, and is there a publisher's name on there? And then, you know, there's just certain things that I did not even know I needed to know.
Did you have a lot of pushback from like the publisher you were talking to? I know you self-published, but in that sort of like relationship, was there like some contention or some creative control?
They guided me, and that's kind of what it was. It was like a guide through that process. I'm working with them now on Black Girl, and they give notes on certain things. You know, it was never a pushback, an argument. It was always giving me suggestions, trying to guide me in the right direction, but it was never like, you have to do it like it is with traditional. Right.
And you would take that over the traditional route.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I like to be in control.
Yeah, for the creative control.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what was it like watching one of your nephews like read the book for the first time, you know?
It was a lot of times. I only cried once. When my nephew, who is the cover boy, Javion, he lives with autism, and he was nonverbal for a really long time. He lives in Tennessee, so his grandma sent me a video of him reading the book and then reading a report that he wrote about me, writing the book about him. And I'm gonna tear up right now. It was everything to see him grow as much as he's grown since when he was a little boy living up here, and then just to see him excited and understand like his page is about him being the president, and then like knowing that his likeness is on the cover of a book. It's probably one of the best feelings.
Yeah. And so what was it like working with Mike to like sort of illustrate like these real people in your life?
Mike was amazing.
Yeah.
I met Mike through another author here in Minnesota. He was on board with the project from the beginning. He was on board with like waiting for us to get the finances. He was even really cool when I had a complete meltdown on him during the artistic process. I really hope to work with Mike again in the future. And his illustrations were breathtaking. I feel like he captured all of my nephews. He was still able to capture their essence while still giving me what I needed out of each character. He was amazing artist.
Perfect. What role do you think literature has in changing the way that Black youth or Black boys are perceived, especially in Minneapolis or Minnesota or just, you know, the U.S. in general?
I think it has a big thing to do with it, because a lot of what drives society now is TV, music, and movies. And a lot of what drives TV, music, and movies is literature. And a lot of people don't know that. Like, a lot of TV shows you write are based off of books. A lot of movies you write are based off of books. And so I think changing the narrative in books, especially children's books, and having more diverse children's books available and in like accessible areas changes the narrative for little kids, for adults, because you get to see different things, and hopefully people take from those inspirations and use them for movies and music and TV and stuff like that. But some of the first things kids are exposed to are children's books.
Yeah. You're talking about like adults sort of understanding that representation as well. And I saw an interview with you talking about sort of like the relationship that maybe white teachers have with black students or just black youth and the lack of patience that they sort of give those kids. And that leads into like this school to prison pipeline that you've talked about as well. How do we go about changing the way that like students are taught, black students are taught by white teachers or black teachers?
Oh, I mean, ultimately the whole system needs to be, if we're going to talk about that, the whole system needs to be rewritten, redone, revamped, remade because of society. A lot of, and not all, but a lot of white teachers go into these schools and they see black and brown boys especially as one thing. Ultimately, white teachers need to give black boys and brown boys the same grace they give white boys, because white students can get away with a lot of the same things that black and brown boys get persecuted for. Get sent to the span class, the quiet room, to the principal, get their teachers called on them. And a lot of times it's simple things that a 12-year-old does, a 13-year-old does,
Just kids.
Yeah, being kids in class, giving them the same amount of grace and then viewing them as little boys. Right. They still want to grow up. They still have the same dreams. They still dream about being things other than society tells them that they want to be.
Yeah. And like you're saying, just representation is sort of like a child level concept. Like you should be able to go to the bookstore and see yourself in a book, right? But it seems like that concept is lost, especially on adults, like teachers. So like how do we get an adult to understand like that child level concept?
That's hard. That's something that I've been trying to figure out, because it's hard to get somebody who has always been seen and represented their whole lives to understand what it means to somebody who hasn't been feel seen or represented. And I haven't been able to answer that question yet. That's a hard one, because I still battle with the conversations about where are the white boys in the book, or, why is this way, or, why do you only have black or brown books on the table, or why do you only have diverse books? Where are the white books? It's hard to get people to understand that, I can go to Target, I can go to Barnes & Noble, I can go to Walmart, I can go to Walgreens, I can go to Cub. Cub has kids' books in their stores. And I can find the books you're asking me for, but I can't find these books. Right. There's probably like 3 black children's books at Target right now, and they have, I want to say, close to 30 to 50. So out of the 30 to 50 children's books sitting on their shelves, only 3 to 4 of them are for black boys, black children. So that, I don't know how to answer that question because I still haven't figured it out.
Right. It's a much bigger problem. Yeah, just an understanding.
Yeah, it definitely. And I just think the best way to get them to understand is to flood the market as much as I can. Just give them content so that they, it's norm to them too.
Right. So going into that, do you have any other projects that you want to promote or you want to talk about? What's coming up next?
Well, next in the works is Crown the Writer, or not, I am Crown the Writer, Crown Comics, that features my nieces and nephews in it also. And that comes out hopefully in August. You can't rush the artistic process. I tell myself that all the time because I want to rush it. Yeah. And then Black Girl, which is the sister book to Black Boy, comes out in November. Okay. So both are in production right now. So they're in the hands of the artist. I have no control, and it is the most nerve-wracking point of the whole process. Yeah. It's like waiting on the artist. So if you're a writer, learn to draw. If you want to do comic books or children's books, it makes the whole process easier and less expensive.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me, and we're going to talk to your nephews now. If that's
great.
We're ready for that?
Yeah, they're ready.
My name is Michael Mort. I live with my dad, used to live with my mom.
My name is Gerald Shepard. I am a student athlete at Augsburg University. I play football and I major in psychology.
Did you read Black Boy?
Not yet.
You haven't gotten around to it? Have you read Black
Yes.
Girl? You've read the book?
I have. I've read it a few times, a lot actually.
Actually, a couple
yes.
times.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you found out you were going to be in a book?
I felt really awkward at first.
Really?
But then when I saw myself inside the book, I didn't really say much. It was like, okay, I'm in a book.
Right.
That's nice. I get some popularity.
Right. Have you looked at it?
Yes.
Did you see yourself in it?
Yes. I found Kel reading it. He was reading it weird.
How was he reading it weird?
It's because he's like, black boy, what are you saying?
So he's being scary?
Yes.
So you didn't want to read it because you were scared?
Okay.
Are you scared of the book?
Yes.
Because he was reading it funny?
Yes.
So are you ever going to read it?
No.
Did you have a page where you get to see what you want to be when you grow up?
Yeah, like there's a page in there where they have a football player, but he has an amputated leg. Mm-hmm. And at first I thought, like before she told me what my page was, I thought that was my page because everybody knows me for football. And then when she told me, I'm like, okay, that makes sense because she doesn't want me to just be looked at as an athlete because, you know, I could be more than that. So yeah.
For sure.
This one is interesting. Like I'm in a book.
Yeah.
I didn't know till I actually read the book and then I started reading the pages. I didn't know that like I was going to be inside a book. Like I didn't know about it till the book came out.
For sure. Did you show your friends at school? Like,
yes.
Hey, I'm in this
book. I showed them.
I mean, that's got to be exciting. Have you shown your friends the book?
Yes.
Do they like it?
Yes.
I brought it around. They read a couple pages, and then they saw me inside it, and then they didn't say anything. They just said, "Okay, you're in a book."
No, they're just jealous.
Nice.
It's like it's really cool. You're in a book.
Yeah.
What did it feel like when you first saw the book?
It definitely made me feel like a kid again because growing up, I didn't have a black boy, but I'm glad that younger generations are going to be able to have access to this book. And it made me feel, you know, happy that I was able to be a part of the book as well.
Right.
So
yeah, as someone a little older than maybe the target demographic, you can sort of look at it in a different way. So when you saw you in the book, did you think, hey, that looks a lot like me?
Yeah, that looks like me.
Yeah, Mike did a good job drawing you.
Yep.
And what did your page say? Like, what did you want to be?
Kale's auto repairs.
You want to have an auto repair store?
Yep.
That's so cool. Does your character remind you of you?
yes. Since I am like the oldest nephew, all the cousins, I'm the favorite cousin.
Yeah.
Truth be told.
Yeah.
And everybody like looks up to me, so I feel like being that teacher, you know, it makes sense.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. What do you think about the book?
I love the book. I love the book. I'm in the book.
You're in the book?
Yeah. As she mentioned before, I'm the teacher in the
Right.
book. And no, it looks nothing. Like, it doesn't look like me, but people know, like,
That's
that's his page.
That's
yeah.
true.
The Black Boy book is really my kind of book. And it's not because I'm just in it. It's because that I have a feel for the book and my cousin's in it. So obviously I'm really excited for him and for me because I'm in the book.
Right.
And I just see some of my cousins in there like, this looks like that. This like, So like, sweet.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
So I'm majoring in psychology because I want to be a therapist, but also I want to pursue my dreams of going to the NFL.
Absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful. Well, congrats on Augsburg, and thanks for talking to me.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for talking to me, Kale, and I think that's about all the questions I have. So
Yes.
We can get back to Fortnite. Are you excited to read Black Girl, if that comes out?
Yes.
Well, thanks for talking to me. And I hope you do get around to reading the book, because I don't think it's too scary.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good. A huge thanks again to Crown and her family for taking the time to come out and talk to us. Keep an eye out for Crown's future work. Don't forget about the link down below to the donations for the book drive. We'll go now to Milo performing their second song, Winona, right now. Take it away, boys. I
simply as we go where we go. We go where we go. We go where we go. Double-seater, my mind reader. Cut the corner half 'cause I need a careless driver, my Winona rider. I'm taking it back, I wanna find her. We go where we go. We go where we go. Hasn't rained in so long. Pleasant pain, pleasant pain. Hasn't rained in so long. Pleasant